Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we got the variant 5 announcement yesterday, and with variant 5 announcement we saw new and changed rewards, and some of those rewards include 2017 and prior generic rank up gems for 5-star champions from rank 3 to rank 4. And obviously we should all kind of like come together and discuss like our preferred targets, and the point of this video is going to be to kind of like go over my personal top champions that have been in game since 2017 and earlier than that. Basically the champions that you will be able to rank up with these generic rank 3 to rank 4 gems that you will get once you explore variant 5. Now, first things first, on this list I have disqualified champions that I think got in the 11 best champions in MCOC champions list period. So it means Quake, Colossus and Hyperion are disqualified from this list because I think that those three are such a great champions that you should rank them up regardless, whether it is rank up gem, not rank up gem. Basically get him, rank him kind of situation over here, because yeah, I don't think that it would be kind of like fair for any other champions competing. And anyway, so yeah, so specifically Colossus, Hyperion and obviously Quake, as they are still some of the best champions in the game. I am not including in the list for today, and we're going to be focusing on the champions that are absolutely amazing and still great choices, but not universally known as maybe like the end all be all champions. We're gonna go over like some other very good options. So we're gonna use Aunt May website in order to do this, and I have already filtered 2015, 16 and 17 champions. We can take a look at 2017 separately, and we can see that obviously these new additions, because previously we were not able to target 2017 champions, include some great champs like Blade, Stark Enhanced Spiderman, Morningstar, Nebula, Medusa, I don't know, Hood, Gwenpool, Carnage, Doc Ock, Archangel. So many good champions are getting added, and the fact that these are generic means you have full control over which champions you want to use them. And there are far many more than 10 champions. I actually started kind of like quickly writing out the list on what I would expect or want to see on my top 10 list for 2017 and before that, and I easily wrote down 20 plus names. Because there are just so many champions that have maintained their value in MCOC champions metagame, but obviously I cannot mention them all, so please do not engage your keyboard warrior mode if some of your favorite champions are not mentioned on this list, like I don't know, maybe Dr. Voodoo or maybe Spider-Gwen, because all of those are still great and amazing champions, but this is going to be my personal opinion of best 10 targets for these generic rank 3 to rank 4 rank up gems that you will be able to earn in variant 5. And we're going to start with spot number 10, and spot number 10 we're going to have to travel to the Mystic class, and in Mystic class we have a Morningstar. And Morningstar, if anything, has increased her value recent times, because it does turn out that obviously she was and still is a very good champion counter in 626 despite her quote-unquote change in the interactions, and additionally she has proven her worth in Abyss of Legends, and she's perfectly kind of like usable Abyss champion as well if you are not in possession of Doom or Symbiote Sorcerer Supreme, for instance. So yeah, I think Morningstar is a fantastic champion. For me personally, it's not quite my style, because I do consider that ramp up process to be one of the kind of like most longest and hardest in the game. But all in all, she's definitely an amazing champion, and once she's ranked up, she's without a doubt one of the best Mystic champions in game. So now that that is spot number 10, we're going to move on to spot number 9, and we're going to be traveling up to Mutant class, and spot number 9 is Iceman. Now Iceman has, again, never been quite my favorite, because he seemed to be kind of like mainline mainstream. He's a very simple character, but he's still very effective due to several reasons. First and foremost, he has a bunch of immunities. Incinerate immunity, poison immunity, and bleed immunity is still a very kind of like solid core for any champion even today. Additionally to that, he can counter evades, And arguably the most important utility today is the fact that his iceman armor can shrug off stun debuffs. Therefore, he can be a decent counter to the stunning reflection nodes or he encroaching stun nodes, so on and so forth. So that ability, in my opinion, has become just more and more valuable recently because we get more nodes that just randomly seem to want to stun us. And obviously Iceman can bypass that. Additionally, being able to tank level 3s is still useful. And yeah, overall, he's quite solid package. When you rank Iceman, you always know exactly what you're getting. Not the hardest hitter, but quite a versatile champion that will come in handy when push comes to shove. And now for spot number 8, traveling to tech class. And many people would rank this champion probably higher. I have never been the biggest fan of Starking and Spiderman, and I do realize that so far all 3 champions that I have listed on this list I have said that I'm not the fan of, but it's the truth. It has never been quite my cup of tea, but obviously Starking and Spiderman is still to this day many people's favorite. I think Swede uploaded some sweet Abyss of Legends solo with his rank 5 Starky. And overall, he can still obviously be useful and helpful in certain situations. He's just not as go-to option as he used to be in past, just because of how many great champions we have received since then. It's kind of like similar situation that has happened with Blade, who is also going to be on this list, but we're going to have to wait for it a bit. But yeah, obviously. So spot number 8, Starking and Spiderman, a fantastic option for that rank up gem. Now spot number 7, and that is going to be Havokbuster. I actually took my 6-star Havokbuster to rank 2 yesterday. I think yesterday, yeah. Because he's really, really fun. Now, the biggest problem with Havokbuster obviously is the inconsistencies and seemingly the fact that opponent can occasionally punish you when you go for your heavy attack chains, especially if you're doing it straight after level 2. But all in all, I really like his newfound utilities. His ability to heal from suicide masteries, especially in longer fights, is super useful. Additionally, he's obviously a tank, access to shock debuffs. I have like a wonderful Havokbuster showcase where he did an entire lane of 6.36 Thunderstruck and absolutely blitzed through it. Obviously some great damage, some wombo combos, not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, but I think he has had quite solid revamp. My only wish for Havokbuster is that, yeah, they streamlined his heavy attack animation and gave his heavy attack a bit more reach, and then he would be quite much higher on this list. But so far we're putting him in spot number 7. And spot number 8 is a champion that I already had managed to mention, and that is Blade, the king of Marvel Concept champions. Once upon a time, a while ago, he was end-all be-all champion. Basically, your life was sunny and great if you had Blade. And here's the good thing. For a lot of older content, he still can be that end-all be-all champion. Everything Act 5. Prior to that, he is an absolute beast. I also have made a Blade revisit video not too long ago where I showcase how he can still perform in Act 6 and some tricky scenarios. People wouldn't necessarily expect him to do well. But the thing about Blade is quite often you need to be prepared for maybe some longer fights or maybe some outside of the box thinking in order to fully utilize his abilities. But without a doubt, he's always a useful kind of like solid champion to have around, because you never know when you're going to be in a need of a vampire hunter, when you're going to need to attack some dimensional beings, mystic champions getting added in contest more and more frequently. And obviously where there are mystics, even though the kind of like new title of a mystic killer would be taken over by Human Torch, Blade's always there as well. Blade's extremely effective against villains, against mystic champions and dimensional beings, and has great healing and all that other good stuff in general. Now we're going to be moving on to top 5, and the 5th spot is going to go to Quake. Is disqualified, so it's not going to be Quake, and Quake would never be 5th in any list. Anyways, SheHulk. SheHulk is still a fantastic slow champion with a lot of damage ramp up. She can be one of the hardest hitting champions in the game, given plenty of ramp up. I actually have Abyss of Legends Horsemanless stream where I brought in SheHulk as one of my main attackers, and she did absolutely insanely amazing because she has that Petrify in level 2, obviously slow, preventing all the waves, unstoppables, and a lot of very, very solid utilities and damage, and she's pretty much the full package. Obviously, the heavy attack change didn't do any favors to her, but all in all, she maintained her value. It's just that you need to work a bit harder to kind of like get the best out of SheHulk, but she's still an absolutely fantastic champion. One of my kind of like low-key favorite things about SheHulk is her ability to shrug off debuffs against science champions, and that comes in handy much more often than you'd think, especially when you're up against champions like Void, and science champions in general like to place debuffs on you, and SheHulk's kind of like perfect counter for that if she's awakened. And we're gonna move on to our top 4 now, and at this point is that we're moving to the Cosmic class, and at spot number 4 we're gonna go with Medusa. Obviously still the best answer when it comes to dealing with robots, because unlike Vision Arcus, she can maintain 100% uptime on her armor shutter, thus completely disabling opponent's robot power gain and all abilities, and she's just fantastic. And also, somehow coincidentally, quite recently with the new Alliance War format, I ended up bringing in Medusa in like 3 wars out of 9 in the season, just because I had to deal with tricky Warlocks, Darkhawks, or some other champions. And obviously she does that phenomenally well. Now, there will be a new robot added to the game where Medusa will be in a world of trouble, and that's going to be Dragon Man, and do not try to use Medusa and Dragon Man. But other than that, Medusa obviously still poison immunity, still fury buffs, that's good for caustic temper. She also hits decently hard. Those furies and that auto block can quite often save you as well. I know it has saved me. And yeah, very solid investment for your rank 3 to rank 4 2017 gem. And spot number 3, we're going to still stay in Cosmic class. Spot number 3 is going to be Venom. And Venom has had one of the best reworks. Obviously, we all know Venom as the ultimate Spider-Man killer, because he simply shuts down all evades Spider-Mans would attempt. Additionally to that, he can nullify buffs on his level 1, he can inflict lots of bleeds, he can armor break, he has access to many different buffs, he can drop a massive level 2 and get many furies. And yeah, he just works really well these days. I have a rank 5 Venom myself. I use him quite frequently for Alliance Quest Map 7, if not for anything else, and he's well worth the investment of your rank 3 to 4 gem. And moving on, we have once again returned to the Mutant class, and seeing this is 2017 champion, Archangel for the first time can be ranked up with one of these gems as well, just like Stocking Hand, Spiderman, and Blade. And I think Archangel is one of the champions that's making a really huge comeback in the contest, because the more champions are getting added, the more champions without bleed and poison immunity are in contest overall. And as our rosters grow more and more, we have a need for kind of like specialist counter champions. And Archangel to this day is pretty much one of the, if not the best champion for any matchup where you can bleed and poison opponent, because neurotoxins prevent their abilities from activating, you prevent them from healing, you deal insane amount of damage. And if you use Archangel in a suitable matchup, it's hard to find a better option than him quite frequently. So yeah, I think Archangel is pretty much the best or second best choice where to target your 2017 generic gem. And the top spot, once again, we're going to be returning to the Mystic class. And I know some people will like to debate me on that, but I'd give the top spot to Magic, because Magic is as old as time itself when it comes in context of Marvel Contest Champions, but she has throughout always and will remain, I think, the power control queen. And everybody got a reminder of just exactly how important and how great Magic is when Flow Wars took place, and Magic was pretty much the only option quite frequently to bring in for many difficult matchups. Obviously, yes, Magic is still absolutely phenomenal, absolutely fantastic. I like the fact that Kabam have kind of like given her little boost bumps along the way. We have Morningstar, who has been released, which obviously has good synergy with Magic, giving her more crit rate and crit damage while she's in Limbo. We have Warlock, that increases her attack significantly when she's in Limbo, and all in all, that increasing those damage caps to kind of like maintain her to the standard of 2020 champions. And additionally, with that phenomenal power control is still one of kind of like core aspects of MCOC, and something that many people take for granted but so often rely on. And it's easy to push Magic aside because maybe she doesn't hit the hardest, even though her damage output definitely is still quite respectable when you don't need her. Because when some new uncollected quests come out, and if you have Corvus's Omega, something that absolutely blitzes the opponents, everybody's just having fun, that's awesome. But when hard content comes, when it comes the need for that 100% certainty, like Alliance War specific matchups and new nodes, like some of the Act 6 stuff, Magic's still the best for quite a lot of these trouble matchups. And yeah, I am in firm belief that every well-developed roster, every well-developed account should have Magic in their ranks. Now, another thing to note, could be a couple things actually, if we think about it truly. Obviously, it's going to be first and foremost the Magneto buffs. We are getting Magneto buffs a couple of weeks after Variant 5 goes live. So if you haven't like rank 2 or rank 3 Magneto, I would recommend probably saving one of those rank up gems just to see how his buff looks like. Typically, Kabam does extremely good job when it comes to buffing up these champions, and hopefully Magneto is no exception. And hopefully Magneto will also be an absolutely awesome champion to rely on. And some people might have forgotten about it, but a bit further, in a bit more distant future, we have more buffs coming for these 2017 champions, which is going to be Punisher 2099. Where's Punisher 2099? I somehow missed him. Is he not here? Oh, here we go. So we have Punisher 2099. He's also going to get some sort of buff. We're going to have to see how relevant and important he's going to be. We're also going to see Falcon get buffed, so keep that in mind. And then we're going to see Gambit get buffed as well. So those are the three that I definitely remember are still going to get some buff / overhaul or some boost in some sort of capacity. So these champions might get somewhere up there as well. But yeah, that will pretty much do for today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and if you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the buttons, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya!